Hello everybody, welcome back to Jared Opens the Box here on Jared Takes the L. And yes, this video is going to probably be airing a little bit later on Saturday than it normally does. It's just been a bit of a crazy week here. So I'm actually recording this day of. So I still wanted to get something out for you guys. It was just a crazy week, but at least it's still coming. It's still here. So we have another really cool episode for you guys today. The last episode of July, which is kind of insane to think about. I have pops from Five Nights at Freddy's. These ones came out actually a little bit ago. I just am just now getting to it. They were actually part of the 10-year anniversary celebration from last year, although they didn't actually come out until earlier this year, but that's neither here nor there. There's actually 4 pops here. I'm sure you guys can probably guess on who those 4 are. But there is something slightly different about these ones because these ones are actually based off of the Five Nights at Freddy's movie that came out back in 2023. So, yes, Funko did finally make some merchandise for the movie. YouTube's did have them beat in that regard, and we actually did the FNAF movie YouTube's video just earlier this year. But Funko still made something anyways, or at least inspired by it. So our first one today, we have, of course, the main man himself, Freddy Fazbear. So this is Pop Games number 1060. And, like I said, it is supposed to be based off of the movie, but the designs in the movie aren't terribly different from, the games, so it's not going to be too different. So there is the side of the box, back of the box that shows, of course, everybody else, and the other side. And, of course, you'll also notice the 10 years logo on the bottom corner there, which was also on the back of some of the other pops that we saw, like the Puppet and Withered Golden Freddy, which we looked at earlier this year. Let's go ahead and open up our first one here. Oh, yes, and these ones actually come with something pretty cool. So they all come with a base that actually has the logo on it. So I thought that was honestly really, really cool. Of course, it says Five Nights at Freddy's 10 years. So that's really, really cool. Here is Freddy Fazbear. So this is our first, new mold for Freddy Fazbear in quite a few years, at least as far as I can remember. Even when they did the tie-dye pops back in 2022, they still used the same mold from the original, the original pops that came out back in 2016. So this is a completely new mold for Freddy here. I think they actually did a really good job with this one. They even gave him the eyelids, which that's always been a problem for some reason with merchandise for these guys, that the eyelids, I don't know, it's a thing, but they actually did give him the eyelids on this one. In terms of the rest of the figure, it's not terribly different. Like I said, it's supposed to be based off of the movie. If that is the case, I actually think these figures would have been good as flocked figures because they had that texture in the movie. So I think it would have been good to have it on these guys as well. But nobody did that, so I don't know why that is. But the closest we really had to that was when YouTube's did the flocked FNAF 1 figures, but that wasn't for the movie necessarily. But nonetheless, I think this one looks really, really cool. I don't really have too much else to say about the figure. He does have the microphone, of course, and everything else, the top hat, the bow tie, but that's all stuff you would expect. And of course the teeth and everything. But yeah, I think they did a good job with this one. I like that they finally are giving us some new molds of these characters because, like I said, the ones that came out back in 2016 were fairly basic, so these ones are actually a lot cooler in that regard. But there is Freddy. He actually stands pretty well on his own, so I think the base was really just there for, just to be cool, I guess. All right, our next one, you guys probably saw this one coming as well. We have Bonnie. So this is Pop Games number 1061. This one is really, really cool. The side of the box, back of the box, and the other side. Now this one is cool because we finally have a pop where Bonnie is holding his guitar, which, believe it or not, has never been made before. Now, of course, like I said, the YouTube's figure did do that, but this is the first for Funko anyways. There is the base again for Bonnie, and here he is. So this one is honestly another really cool pop. Also reminds me that Bonnie does not have eyebrows. The other ones do, but he does not for some reason, which kind of looks really goofy now that I'm looking at it. But I like how they did this one. I think they did a good job. One of the ears, of course, being bent there. That's a cool detail. Does have the red bow tie. They did not give him a tail. But I'm trying to remember, did he even have one originally? I think the original Pop did, but this one does not. I don't know if he had one in the movie. I really don't remember. Of course, like I said, he is holding his guitar, which is really, really cool. Our first Funko Pop to have that detail. The action figures, when they came out with the action figures, those did come with a guitar. But this is a first for this one. And I think it's really cool, that they are doing that. And of course, the whole debate over Bonnie being blue or purple because it's constantly changing. This one seems to be like a light shade of purple. It doesn't look like blue. It definitely seems like a lighter shade of purple. But I don't know. We're gonna have another situation here where we aren't able to tell, what it is. But I think they did a good job with this one as well. It looks really, really cool. So there is Bonnie. Also stands up pretty easily on his own. All right, our next one here, we have Chica. This is Pop Games number 1063. There's the side of the box, back of the box, and the other side. And yes, they did do Chica. Technically, she is last, but I don't know why that would be. I always do, I always think Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and then, of course, Foxy being kind of on his own, so it's kind of weird they separated that, but neither here nor there. Here is the base for that one. They're all probably going to be the same. And here is Chica. So this one is really cool. Again, just like Bonnie's guitar, this is actually our first time that we have had a pop of Chica where she's holding the cupcake. So that's pretty cool. I do think, though, the cupcake just has like the plain, the black Funko eyes on it. Whereas typically it has like the blue eyes and stuff like that. Like when they made the pop of the cupcake back in 2016 or whatever that was. So I do think that's a little weird that they didn't do that, but that's okay. Chica also has eyelids and eyebrows. They gave her the little feathers at the top of her head. Of course, the Let's Eat bib is there as well, and the sharp talons on her feet. But other than that, you're not going to expect too much different here. This one and Foxy are the ones where I definitely see the inspiration from the movies, because this does look very similar to her appearance in the movies, which is slightly different from her games appearance. But I do think Funko did a really good job with this one as well. Definitely better than the original Chica Pop they came out with. Honestly, I think all of these are probably better than the originals, just to be honest. And now we have our last one, the one that's probably my personal favorite. It's always been my favorite. We have Foxy. This is Pop Games 1062. There is the side of the box, the back of the box, and the other side. Let's go ahead and open this one up here. I'm actually pretty excited about this one. Oh, jeez. I thought something just broke right there, but we're good. All right. Again, another base for that one. And here is Foxy. Now, I will say, out of the four animatronics, Foxy is definitely the one with the most drastic changes to him based on the original Pop. First off, he's the only one to have a colored eye. He has yellow in this case, whereas the other ones all just had the basic black eyes. He also has quite a lot of detail on him. Of course, he does have the rips and tears in the suit to show off the endoskeleton. This is especially noticeable in the back. You can see a lot of that in the back here, and that's actually fairly accurate to the movie, where he did have a lot of that. He also has this part right here where the eye patch loops around right there, which is really cool. He has these these big tufts of fur, which I don't really remember that being a thing in the movie. I could totally be wrong, but I don't remember that. But I don't know. If clearly it's there for a reason. So he has all of his teeth. He has this one golden tooth, so I think that's a great detail. And then, yeah, the endoskeleton feet and everything. I think they honestly did a really good job with this one. This one is the one where I definitely see the movie appearance, in this right here. I think they did a great job with all of these figures, and like I said, I think they are all probably better than the original ones, no doubt. A lot more detail, a lot more, they're in action poses as opposed to just having the arms, by their side kind of thing. So I think they did a really good job with all of these. Foxy doesn't stand too well on his own, but that's kind of to be expected. But I have to give all of these, I'm going to sound a little biased here, but I'm going to give them 10 out of 10. I think they are incredibly detailed. I think they are incredibly accurate as well. Foxy does have a few inconsistencies here and there, but overall, it's still pretty accurate to their appearances in the movie. And yeah, I don't know if we're going to get anything for FNAF 2. I know that trailer just came out this past week. I don't know if we're going to get pops from that movie. I haven't heard anything. But if we do, I do think they'll be in good hands because these came out looking really, really good. But I'll go through them one more time. I'd love to hear which of these is your favorite. So we have Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, Chica, if I can grab the last one, Foxy. So let me know down below which of these are your favorites. When we come back next week, we will be in August, and it is also SummerSlam week, which means we are going to be kicking things off in August with some new WWE Funko Pops. So keep an eye on that video, guys, but thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody.